I'm live. Friday. TPP is how I know my weekend has started.
Oh, really?
You know, if
Are we ready?
I'm really like Freddy.
What are you going to say?
I'm going to say even more than traveling to do show. Is it on your camera? This is my own life. If you move it in here, I will block out on my own camera.
You know what? Let's see. How's that?
Let me see. Okay. It's acceptable. I mean. How about now? Because there's no, but if I do that, it will block out my camera.
No, if it's down,
Okay, let's see.
Just increase it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How about like this? But this is so uncomfortable for me. This microphone is almost sexually abusing me. I feel like sexually harassed. I'm harassed. I'm feeling sexually harassed by this microphone. It's like it wants me to do something I'm not inclined to doing. You see, people already conceive camera. Let's see if you see. Your fans are complaining. They don't take rubbish.
Oh,
I love my followers. Listen, guys.
Okay?
You guys are the best.
Hi guys, how are you?
Welcome to the show. We only have 170 today. Come on, guys. Let everybody know we are doing this live. Let them come and join. Tell your friends to join the live. 169. Are you guys angry?
Hello, my country people. She's the nice one, always trying to keep him out of trouble.
Oh no, don't say that.
These two are on a mission to be the voice of the people. Lagos, are you ready?
Let's see me. Let me come like this.
And I'm Join us every
Perfect.
Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on our brand new show.
If I open this my mouth, all tables scatter.
Father, help us all.
Talk to Seun Kuti and Iffy on the People's Perspective every Friday, 11
Let me
a.m. to 12 noon on Lagos Talks 91.3.
Alrighty, it's 5 minutes past 11. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Midday Show with me, Ifunaya, here on Lagos Talks 91.3. As always, we're going to be starting with your favorite show, The People's Perspective, where we get to dissect topical issues from your perspective. We get to hear from you directly via our different platforms on Twitter at Lagos Talks 913 using the hashtag The People's Perspective 913, or sending us WhatsApp messages via our WhatsApp line, which I'm going to be reading out to you when the time is right.
Big Kuti,
So
BBK.
Kuti on Instagram, so check it out. So we're going to continue from where we left off last week, and we're going to do a little recap for the sake of those who are just tuning in right now. Last week we spoke on the herdsmen issue, or should I say conflict, in states like Ondo and Oyo State, right? A few weeks ago we did see friction between herdsmen and the indigents of Ondo and Oyo. For Ondo State, the governor Akeredolu seemed to voice the stance and the interests of the people by not only giving a 7-day ultimatum at first, he also outlawed open grazing on main roads. He also demanded the registration of herdsmen in that state, which seemed to voice the interests of the people. On the other hand, going to Oyo State with the governor Makinde, it seemed as though, and this is the general consensus according to the people, saying that he seemed more accommodating to the herdsmen. Not only that, they believed he did not make an informed decision. They expected that he did the same thing as the governor of Ondo State. Rather, they believed that he didn't stand for the interests of the people. And we know that when we talk about herdsmen in Nigeria, they have been associated with things like banditry, kidnapping, massacres, and the list goes on and on. So the people believe that the governor should have made a decision based on the security of the people as the chief security officer of Oyo State. And since that did not happen, they believe that he left a vacuum in his position as a leader. And because of this vacuum came a self-styled activist Sunday Igboho, who decided to voice the needs of the people by, should I say, radically demanding the exit of the herdsmen, putting out threats. We've seen a lot of contentious activities going on. We've seen that he's been shot at, his house razed down by fire. Not only that, he also did threaten the palace of the Oni of Ife as well. Called him a Fulani slave as well, and we've seen with that conflict, the Oni of Ife has forgiven him, saying that he would always be a son of the soil.
After he apologized.
Of course.
Forget that important part.
Yes, he did apologize, and so we've been seeing the back and forth. We've been seeing how it's progressed to what it is at the moment now. Before talking about, Sunday Igboho, because Seun said that we're going to go in depth, just talking about a little bit of history and then moving on to what this means for us as Nigerians. Seun, we know that, over the years, the population of Nigeria has increased exponentially, from as far back as like maybe 1950 or so, with us being just 30 to 33 million till right now in 2021, where we're over 200 million people. What this really does mean is that it puts a lot of pressure, immense pressure on our land and our water resources being used by the farmers, being used by the headsmen, and also being used by the people of the community. And what this also means is that it's going to reduce the amount of land that is available for grazing, and also it's going to sort of kind of block routes, transhumanist routes for the herdsmen as well, which will lead to some sort of conflict or tussle. And with a country such as Nigeria, where we really do not have a structure and everything seems to be politicized, it means that it's expected that this conflict will exist between the indigents of these different states and the herdsmen. And so we've had, analysts and the people calling for the government to put out policies to transition Nigeria from pastoralism to a more balanced and a more steady form of animal husbandry, where it means that the herdsmen will not be going from land to land, disturbing the peace of people, where they have a sequestered part, in different states where they can actually allow their animals to graze without causing any conflict whatsoever. Now, before getting into Sunday Igboho and just talking about policies that the citizens are demanding, do you think that the government is ready to put out such policies for the interests of the people? And if at all they put out policies to govern, grazing in Nigeria, what do you think these policies should include?
Well, I think grazing in Nigeria just needs to come to the 21st century. Case closed. Whatever policy they want to, like if you remember, there was this plan that they want to have ranches in the south. And many of these same people today that are shouting, and complaining about this crisis, said, "Oh, we don't want ranches, we don't want ranches."
Exactly.
But the issue is, one way or the other, Nigeria needs to ranch its cows. And it's, how would I put it? It's livestock. One way or the other, we used to raise chickens in Nigeria, free range. When I was young, I had chickens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I used to raise chickens, and you keep them, they go everywhere in the neighborhood, and in the evening they come. Everybody had chickens. My mom taught me how to raise chickens. I had my little chicken coop in the back of the house in KK, and they all run back in the house at night. It's true.
That's very interesting.
But today, everybody that is a poultry farmer, has brought their practices, to the modern time. Obasanjo Farms is a good example of what you can do in modern day poultry raising, whatever they call it. So we need to bring that to our livestock. Finish, that's just the thing. And the people running the business must be willing to invest in the business. Now, if the people in the south say that they don't want ranches in the south, fine. Irrigate water to the north. Invest in it. You have to do that. There's no shortcut. But then the people in the south know that for that reason, the cow will cost more. The meat will cost more.
Of course.
And nothing also stops us here in the south from raising livestock. Why is it exclusively must be the northerners that let them raise their livestock for themselves to eat? I want to raise livestock for ourselves to eat. I think this is, that's why I said that there's so much, how do I put it? There's too many shifting and moving parts in this simple issue for me to think it's only about grazing.
Yes.
You know, like, it's not, because the solution is so simple. One, nobody wants to do that. And then all these different issues, you know, Nigeria right now, if you've read Wole Soyinka's The Man Died, Wole Soyinka is my second cousin, by the way. He's my father's first cousin.
By the way.
You know, I mean, so let me switch to Uncle Wole so you guys understand that we are farmer, like. You know, so, you know, Uncle Wole's book, The Man Died, you know, many of the propaganda machinery I see outside in the system, online, on ground, many of the attitudes of our politicians in the South and the North really mirrors those things that happened before the Civil War in 66. You know, for me, why I'm really, really skeptical about people that want to, you know, turn Yoruba land into some kind of battlefield this time instead of the East is that what arrangements have we even made to evacuate our brothers and sisters in the North? You know, if it goes down and reprisal attacks, because if attacks really happen here and things are really bad, there's going to be reprisal attacks, definitely. I mean, this is Nigeria. We know this. We never even do anything. There are reprisal attacks. So imagine if things now happen, you know. Yeah. So what plans do we have to move our brothers and sisters that are Yoruba, that are in Kano, Kaduna, Maiduguri, all these cities, you know, trying to make a living as Nigerians? What are we going to do about them, and how do we bring them back? Or they do not matter because they are behind, they are in the North. You know? So this issue for me is the security, the insecurity is causing. I think we should term it as banditry, criminality. Saying headsmen. You know, why are we giving a new name to something that exists? Is it the sentiment of it? Is it that because headsmen suddenly helps us in our mind to link it to the Northerners, so it's better to name it as such? I don't think so. You know. Criminals are criminals. Let's go after criminals.
As such.
Yes, let's. If we're going to deal with criminality in Nigeria and banditry, let's call it what it is, and let's face that. Let's face that and let's solve that. But now we're tying, you know, this issue of grazing is hugely tied to criminality.
Of course.
And I don't. So what I'm saying is, what are we using as the solution? Are we saying, oh, we're going to ban heading? Any kind of heading in Nigeria completely? I agree with that, so that people's children will stop walking from Kano to Lagos, from Kaduna to Lagos, from Maiduguri to Benin. All this kind of journey with leg that people's children have to take. You know, why some people's children, the owners of the cows' children, are chilling in their homes. We have to end that. So I believe that. But to now say also to criminalize the headsman immediately, say, okay, a headsman is also a criminal. It's difficult for me to align with, you know. Say, okay, fine, let's find the criminals. Yeah, because you see, me, I'm Fela's son. That's something people have to understand also. And growing up as Fela's son, I went through this same kind of thing. People might not see, Kalakuta was not a whole tribe. We were not the whole of the North. But we were criminalized. Yeah. So bad, like, if you are Fela, you are immediately criminalized. Anything with Fela, anything from Kalakuta, you're a criminal, you're a Igbo smoker, you're a tout, you're a hooligan. I grew up with that kind of stigma, you know, and I would not in any way, shape, or form be able to condone it, you know, in the society. We must go after those that are doing what is wrong, precisely. You know, we cannot use a general, that's fascism.
The lines seem to have been blurred over the years, and the reason why, because of the individuals, should we even call them political elites, having stakes in this phenomenon called herdsmen or herding. Hence the reason why, rather than them identify what the issues are, they would gloss over it as if insecurity doesn't exist because of what this has been synonymous with kidnapping and with massacres, and the list goes on and on.
And also, you know, I mean, even people in the North, I believe, are going through this as well, you know, just as we are. And even for longer, look at the IDP camp, for example. These are internally displaced persons. Over 2 million people are in these camps as we speak right now, and they are fellow Nigerians whose lives have completely been uprooted in the North, and they are not Muslims and Northerners and Fulani and Hausa, and all tribes are in this IDP place. So we as Nigerians have to see that, you know, that we are under some form of concerted attack. You know, and with every election cycle, it grows bigger and it grows worse. And I link it directly to political thuggery. You and I cannot afford to arm a bunch of people.
Yeah.
We all know the kind of people who have that kind of money in this country. After every election cycle, small arm and armed proliferation expands, increases in this country. People arm more thugs, arm more of their supporters to carry out all sorts of election violence. But then in the 4 years gap between elections, those boys have nothing to do but descend on the citizens. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I read in this book, This House Has Fallen, by Carmaya, where he explains the massacre in Odi. You know, because I always knew about the massacre in Odi, but I never knew the background story. But if you investigate that, you'll find out that the background story is really stemmed from election violence, the political thugs used during the elections, having nothing to do, wreaking havoc in Yenagoa, Obasanjo calling a state of emergency because of the guy, his name is Ken Nwega or something. I've forgotten his name. So the guy left to his town. He was from Odi, but he was still causing havoc there, you know, stopping people on the express, stealing. So Obasanjo sent police people to arrest him. He killed the police people. Obasanjo sent military there. Psha! Everybody killed. You know, so what are we saying here? That if we actually take our time, ask Nigerian people, put sentiment aside, put emotions aside, and truly follow the money. Follow the money.
Yeah.
All these people that are causing havoc in Nigeria, who has empowered them? How did they get money to buy all these arms? How are they able to move around without any kind of hindrance? You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things we need to ask dispassionately, you know, and forget anybody that will be offended by this question, and follow the money. Anybody, let's look back at them. Look back at Boko Haram. How did Boko Haram how did they end the capital that they needed to become radicalized and to become kind of radicalized extremists that they are from politicians? Modu Sharif in his election. You know, we all remember Ecomog Boys in 1999, 2003, all over the Middle Belt. Let's not be forgetting all these things. In Lagos, thugs are empowered everywhere. In Benin, everywhere, armed. And all these things have consequences. And the consequences is insecurity in the society.
Of course.
You know, so I want us to dispassionately look at it and try and separate the two. We have a heading problem. We should not allow the politicians of this country bandy together. Like, the heading problem can be solved if the owners of the cow are forced to invest in modern practices. But they don't want to be forced to invest because it is all politicians are involved that are rich, these really big guys in this cow business. Cow business is big business in Nigeria. Trust me, people think it's only northerners that are in Miyetti Allah. It's a lie. I always said it's a lie. There are southerners in Miyetti Allah too because they own cows, you know, and they are under this organization and they are in power too. So they use power to protect their interests. Why would they put a law that will make them dip into their booty bag, that they store the booty that they've gotten in this country and use it to invest again in this country? No, that's not their style. They want to buy houses in Switzerland, in Dubai, take their girlfriend on trips and things like that with the money. They don't want to reinvest it in the place they took it from. That's the only issue.
All right, Joe, let's move on to just speaking about the self-styled activist Sunday Igboho. And from the onset with that vacuum, like I mentioned, that the people of Oyo State believe was created by the inaction of their governor, who somewhat accommodated the presence of the herdsmen in Oyo State, and came this activist who decided to speak for the people. And from what has been seen and what it has been progressed to become right now, on one hand, the people of Oyo State seem to align with his sentiments and seem to align with what he believes as regards the herdsmen being present in Oyo State. But on the other hand, from other parts of Nigeria, they believe that this is somewhat, turning out to be a volatile situation that could lead to more insecurity in the country, with a lot of contention arising from his presence and from how vocal he's been so far. So what are your thoughts about this? And let's just take it a step back to the beginning, who this person is and how he's gained such notability and what this is going to mean for not just the people of Oyo State, but for the rest of Nigeria.
Take it back, how far back?
As far as you can take us.
Well, for me, like as I said before, the Edo State women did something quite incredible. Our producer sent us this news clip of Edo women protesting basically to their government to say headsmen are ruining their farm produce. For me, a perfect response to say, do your job, we've elected you. We as Nigerians, we need to stop empowering non-state actors. People that are not accountable to anyone or anything. You understand what I'm saying? Because it never ends well. Listen, after all we've been through in Nigeria, for us to now come and start embracing fascism, I will say it is just not. Go and look at the Italians under Mussolini, El Duce, the father of fascism. And then everybody loved him in Italy because he was able to help them blame the other for their problem. But at the end of the day, it's the same Italians. They dragged him onto the street like an animal and lynched him. El Mussolini. Go and check out how he died. I am a Pan-Africanist. So there's no way in this world I will see a solution that involves any kind of bloodshed of innocent African people and embrace it. No matter how nice it sounds to my ear and how interesting it is to me, if we are to give ultimatums in Nigeria to say, okay, there's headsmen are causing problem in the bush. First of all, if you're a leader in society, your first duty is to educate your people, to raise their consciousness, to give them truth. That's the first job of a leader, is to give your people the truth. So the truth is to educate our people and say, yes, there are criminals in our society using the headsmen to move to. So we must go and flush out those criminals. If the question has been, we are going to this town to flush out the criminals in this town, our government is failing us. We, the people, are going to flush out criminals. I would, even if I cannot send 2 boys to join this, our vigilante group that is going to flush out the criminals, I would donate money to join, to forward such an idea. Yes. But to suddenly say, I'm going to chase away all the headsmen, when I know for a fact that not all the headsmen are criminals. In fact, I know for a fact that the majority of headsmen are not criminals. They are normal Nigerians trying to make a living, just like you and I. I mean, if I go by the amount of criminal activity or violent situations I've experienced in Ikeja in my lifetime to judge everybody that lives in Ikeja, then I'll say Ikeja is everybody in Ikeja is a criminal. It's a fact. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I did a little social experiment on my Instagram yesterday.
Okay.
Every politician in Nigeria is either a Christian or a Muslim.
Okay.
And everyone that has ruined this country politically is either a Christian or a Muslim. There is no escaping it. Is it okay for me to say we have to chase all Christians and Muslims out of Nigeria, when it's obvious that yes, all politicians are Christians and Muslims, but not all Christians and Muslims are politicians? So it is impossible for us to accept that all criminals can be headsmen. Maybe, let's even say maybe, but we cannot accept that all headsmen are criminals. It's impossible. So that is not a solution. The solution is to go after criminality. If that is the answer to this, I am down. But if the answer is some kind of fascist response, the people say, Seun, why do you care about one Nigeria? You talk too much about... Me, I don't care about one Nigeria. Nigeria for me is not it's true. People if people know my politics, they will know very well that Nigeria itself is a machine I fight against. But I separate that from the Nigerian people. I separate that from the Nigerian people. You understand? I understand that bringing this kind of idea will be the ones that will pay the price. And because I don't think anybody is going to catch Buhari's children being a cow owner. Any of his children are going to shed any of their blood in this kind of fracas. You know, it is the blood of common Nigerians, and there will be reprisal attacks. You know, this is not the politics or the forward thinking that I'm with in 2020, 21. You know, so we need to end fascism. If we want to stop criminality in Nigeria, let's stop criminality in Nigeria. Let's task those that have been given the mandate. You understand what I'm saying? The mandate to secure us. They are the ones that need to get ultimatum. Yes. Where's the ultimatum? To the governors, who are the chief security officers of the state. To say, Governor, you are collecting security votes, you have all these billions, and you're not doing your job. We, the people, will give you 1 week to give us a concrete policy to tackle this insecurity and criminality in our town, or we come and chase you out of your office, or we occupy your office till the lawmakers impeach you. You can remove a governor by impeachment. Yes. So where are the ultimatums to these political powers? Because if I remember correctly, Sunday Igboho himself said he was integral part of putting Seyi Makinde in power. So, if it is your principal that is failing, how come you are not attacking your principal? You are going to attack other people. I don't understand that. So, for me, Nigerians were saying on their page, oh, they are not real Christians. That's something that many people said. Oh, those politicians are not real Christians. And it immediately sounded to me the way Northerners say, oh, those criminals are not real headsmen, are not real Northerners, are not real Fulani, and things like that. So when it concerns us, we certainly want to see the humanity, and then we want to see the nuances, you know, who is a real one and who is not a real one, who is a fake one and who is not a fake one, and things like that. You know, blanket, like Ghana must go and things like that happen. Blanket titles like that. I've lived through it, as I said. Fella people are bad. You understand? I've lived through it.
Yeah.
I understand the concept behind that. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't go to change anything. It is a political game. It is a political game where our politicians are trying to make, by all means, insecurity the main issue of the 2023 elections. This is what all their agents are playing at. This is what is going on. So that we do not now ask for those progressive ideas that have already been permeating our societies right now, about our education, about our healthcare, about our welfare, about our roads, about the cost of food in this country, about lack of jobs in this country. These are the pertinent issues in this country. But our politicians have found out that they have failed miserably in all these aspects. So what have they done? They have brought out all their actors, all their agents. Everybody involved in this narrative of Hausa, Fulani, these are all government agents, empowered by our politicians. And the politicians of Nigeria are the number one oppressors of the Nigerian people.
John, before we take this a step further, let's just take a few calls and then we'll carry on further on just speaking about the trajectory of this self-styled activist, Sunday Igboho. If you want to join the conversation, if you want to ask any questions as well,
really,
you can do that via our different platforms on Twitter at LagosFolks913 using the hashtag ThePeoplesPerspective913, or you could call 0809 234 5913. 0809 222 0913, 0809-191-3913. You can also call 01-515-0913.
But before you take the call,
515-1913.
it's important to say it's not about him alone. It's about fascism. He's not the first person in Nigeria to sound like this. Amadu Bello was a fascist. There are many interviews of him hearing, oh, Igbo people, they come to your country, they want to take over the thing, and those kind of rhetoric is what led to the civil war. Sunday Igboho is not unique, please. I mean.
All right, let's take these calls. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Good morning. I'm calling from London.
What's your name?
My name is Samson.
All right, Samson, welcome. Join the conversation, please.
Yeah, so I've been listening to a lot of what Seun has been saying over the past few weeks, which a lot of things they do make sense, but I do think that there are certain aspects where we need to be very careful in how we look at this thing.
Okay.
So, for example, the herdsmen issue, by way of example, totally disagree with what Sunday Igboho is doing in terms of, going after anybody that looks like a Fulani man and all that. That's wrong. However, as Seun has already highlighted, these things come about when the government have failed the people. Right? And even before now, these herdsmen have been killing people in Borno, killing people in Zamfara, right? Yoruba people were saying, well, they are killing themselves. What's our own business? Now, I see another situation whereby we have the Sunday Igbohos crying about what's happening in Yoruba land. And I see a loose opportunity for Nigerians here because the fight that we're fighting off, that we're fighting is a fight of oppression versus the oppressed. Right? And now I see all the people that were the mobilizationists of, if that's even a word, of the NSAS movement. Everybody's at home, quiet. I don't see anybody carrying placards saying, government, we need to end insecurity in Oyo State, we need to end insecurity in Zamfara. So, and I think that we need to, what I'm trying to say is that there is no this togetherness, this love among the Nigerian people. We only fight when something affects us, right? Because these same Senegals, I are calling them thugs, and maybe they were even part of the thugs the government used to influence the NSAS movement. But what I'm saying is that if we don't support each other as we go on with this fighting our oppressors, they will always be using us against each other.
All right, thank you very much for your take. This is coming from Adebayo on WhatsApp saying, good morning. The first policy to embark upon by this government should be to dislodge those herdsmen carrying AK-47 rifles. If not, the farmers too should be allowed to carry AK-47 rifles to protect themselves as well, except the government is hiding something sinister. This is coming from Michael saying, good morning, Seun and Ife. I appreciate your perspective, Seun, on herders and farmers clashing. Criminals should be treated as criminals, not by their profession or ethnic sentiments. The major problem is team leadership failure. This is coming from Kilewensky from Delta saying, you guys are missing the point here. You are dealing with people who have nomadism as their philosophy guiding them, and they must expand even if it means going violent. This one is coming from a listener saying, a very good perspective on Sunday Igboho, but who can challenge the powers that be, according to your saying, given the governor's ultimatum? So that's from Paul. This is coming from, all right, so you just said hello, Lagos Talks. Now, just writing off of that, Seun, like you did mention, rightfully so, that there is a process when it comes to our strengths and as our rights as citizens with the public servants that we put into office. In a country in which our systems are as flawed as can possibly be, and we are currently facing a state of insecurity. I mean, insecurity has been a thing in Nigeria, from years back even till today. But currently in these different states, the citizens are seeing it as a state of emergency, with the women in Delta State, staging protests and blocking roads, demanding the exit of herdsmen. So what do you think is the possible, next step if these citizens do not have trust? There's a trust deficit between citizens and the government. They do not believe in the first place that the government has their best interests at heart. So what can they possibly do, going through the right, structure and the right way or right steps to ensure, accountability from the government?
Okay. How many, this is why I say we need to decide as a people, because what I'm seeing here is that we are still in Nigeria being told what issue we should take serious. You understand? We as Nigerians are not the ones deciding what is serious to us. Okay, a question I've asked all the time is this: if Yoruba lives truly matter to all these people that are giving ultimatums to headers and saying, oh, this insecurity is taking lives, seriously? Are we seriously talking about lives being taken in Nigeria as the reason why? So for me, I feel like there's always, there's always a Sunday Igboho. There's always people like that to help us, tell us what the issues are, come in front of the issue and push the narrative, What I want to ask though is this: where are these people when our children are dying inside hospitals, because parents don't have 1,000 naira? Where are these people when Yoruba children are being killed on the road by errant trucks belonging to Northerners too? I mean, those trucks, those Dangote trucks that are driving and killing people all over Southwest. That will not be issue, that South people are not losing their lives over that. Loss of life, I know for a fact that black loss of lives is something that African people have been made to look at as not really important. I'm telling you, it's just the truth. Because if that is the case, man, if that is the case, there's so many people in Nigeria that lose their lives because they cannot eat. They cannot afford the food though, that they will just eat. So they just stay and they are hungry a month, because it takes like 4 weeks for hunger to kill you. So for a month they are hungry till they now die. Imagine. So for me, these issues are the issues of the people that we must decide, okay, we want to truly face these issues so that lives are no longer lost in our unnecessarily lost in our society anymore. So if we're going to take those things serious and say, okay, yes, this is what we're going to take serious, then we will see that we will need to organize to create the pressure groups or the political parties that will bring these things into fruition. I say to people that I have more anger towards those that sell food our people cannot buy than any bandit in the bush.
Interesting.
Because those ones don't have to live in the bush, right? And they don't even have to be called bandits to carry out such criminal activities. How can you be growing food in your country that your country people, some people in your country cannot afford it and they can't eat it, they can't buy it? How can you have hospital in your country that some people cannot go? My band leader died on Christmas, New Year's Eve, because they turned him away from the hospital. They said he was too sick, they can't take him in. This is the kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but we as Nigerian people need to truly take deep breaths, look at the situation around us and decide if we truly want it to change, or we're just trying to look for ways that the bad things don't affect us. Because that's what I see, that if this bad thing is far from us or doesn't affect us, then in a way we want to excuse it. So right now, well, headsmen is affecting people and they are talking. But maybe those same people, if they could organize themselves like this because of headsmen, let's start organizing ourselves like this because of our education,
because
of our healthcare, because of our road networks and things like that.
Just to step into that, because from what you have actually highlighted today, we've seen this happen in different forms where it seems when we're inching towards elections, that members of the political class begin to bring into play things to distract the general public from what's most important.
And this is not special, I said.
And this isn't special. However, we know that activism wears different faces. We've seen people come out as activists against, gender-based violence or sexual violence, activism against police brutality. Now, this particular face of this movement, Sunday Igboho, like you mentioned, there are people that have been that way in times past. There are people that believe, well, he's picked his poison and he's decided to fight against what he sees as insecurity.
Fighting against northerners is not how you solve insecurity. Say, headsmen, Fulani is the problem. The northerners are the problem. This is not fighting insecurity. This is actually creating insecurity. Because how long are we going to do that for until the northerners start doing it to our brothers over there? Are we saying they don't like Yoruba and Yoruba people in the north? For me, this is what I'm saying. Like, this, if he says, as I said, if he comes and says, I am fighting against criminality and all forms of criminals, I will probably support him. Maybe if you start from the small criminal, we'll get to the big criminals. You understand? Because criminals is something I understand. It's a language I understand very well. But once you begin to use that, you understand, to qualify an entire people, that is fascism. And we cannot go the El Duce path in Nigeria. El Duce was the nickname of Mussolini. We can't. And especially when I see people in the abroad with nothing to lose. Sunday Igboho himself said his children are in the abroad. His wife is in the abroad. Nothing to lose. My wife and my child, they are here. The way I'm thinking about Nigeria, my entire life is here. Don't get it twisted. I've been offered an escape route many times. But I wasn't raised that way. Everything that is anything to me is here in this country, in Nigeria. So what this land, what the peace here means to me is not the same as it means to the politicians with private jets and 2 passports. My daughter was born in France, but she doesn't have a French. I'm not doing anything to make her French. Now only 1 passport, all of us there for our house. It's true. So I understand what I'm saying, because I know I have nothing else and nowhere else to go. Those that are pushing all of you, all their children, in the last 20 years in this country, it has been happening before, I don't know. But in this, our present political dispensation, no politician has given birth to their child in this country. No one. No, from local government chairman to presidency. Their children, their grandchildren, their children, their uncle, everybody is born abroad. Canada, America, London, No, it's true. And then they use their influence to lure you to destroy the only thing that you have. I say to people, the elite is only in Nigeria. Our politicians don't have to be completely aligned with Nigeria. They can be Nigerian and American and still be governor.
That's very true. All right, Sean, let's just take a few more calls. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Good morning, Miss Lee. How's it going?
All right, Ebuka, welcome.
Good morning, Ogabo.
How na day, Ebuka?
I do. Now we do this country like this. Never get passport, so we will stick to our country. Because here now are Jerusalem. And here now we are with you. Because it's just not making sense. We fight ourselves for what is common sensical. Something we say, if you understand, we will enjoy ourselves. Because we keep talking of the elite, which is making sense to me. Because the only wealth they are making money from, they are using it to invest in their personal business, and they are using it to oppress the common man. Amnesty, so to say, when they fight against the oil they are taking from their place, now the money is being invested in other things. And now the herdsmen are being funded by this elite, so to say. And they are destroying crops that we are meant to eat from. Who is losing? And when we fight against ourselves in this very manner, this guy, they will just sit in the upper echelon and they're looking at us, giving us things to talk on. I wish he's not acting.
All right, Ebuka, thank you very much for your take. Lagos Talks. Good afternoon. Who's speaking, please? Oh, good morning, I beg your pardon.
Good afternoon, Ishi and Seun. My name is Sebastian.
Sebastian, welcome. All right, let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, quickly, I totally agree with what Seun is saying. you say, in logic, say it's a constructive syllogism or destructive syllogism, right? When we move from particular to general, right? Or whatever it is. But the point I'm trying to make here is that our politicians, when they are spending money, so we have created more of insecurity. Because tomorrow, if they go to the north and they say all southern, because this guy has done this, all southerners who are living in the north, who have left living in the north all their life, to go back home, they were having issues. Rather, let's fight criminality and not generalize the fact that all northerners or all headers are criminals.
All right, Sebastian. Thank you very much. Lagos Talks.
I'm telling you, if
Lagos
you
Talks?
sorry, we have a caller.
All right.
In this country, we've had is now they use their agents to spread these fascist ideas. I said back in the 60s, it was the politicians themselves, the Akintolas. Have Yoruba people forgotten Operation Wet here? Have we forgotten this thing so quickly that these same people that they were willing to murder us, like burning us like cows on the road because of election votes before the civil war started in the Second Republic? History that we don't know in this country is doing us bad things. This is nothing new. All these kind of people are nothing new to us in this country. I say Ahmadu Bello will be using his mouth to cast down all Igbo people. You will not say, you say all Igbo. If you see a Igbo, there's a popular one that went viral. That one is even a small part of what that man was saying. It's a whole Sardowner. That's how they are. And now they can't say those things by themselves anymore. Because the world has woken up. You know, they will be held accountable for such things. So what do? They use their agents. Same people that they have empowered.
A few more tweets. This is from Abiola saying, thanks Seun for hitting the nail on the head. Cattle warriors in Nigeria have never been a problem as they have coexisted with host communities for more than 250 years without rancor. PMB set them up when he was unable to erase Boko Haram militants and rather than tell the truth. This is coming from Folabi saying, Mr. Seun and Ife, good morning. And as Seun has said, herdsmen holding gun is questionable. In Europe, each gun has a number that is registered under each country and it's traceable by the government. Are they not questioning how herdsmen even got the guns in the first place? Those guns have numbers. This is coming from Justin saying, good morning, Ife and the Big Bird. Kidnapping, banditry, and armed robbery is a crime and it's not exclusive to only one ethnic group. I understand that so many Yoruba people see Sunday as their hero, but they should be very careful. What he's doing is very dangerous. Because if the herdsmen resist his ultimatum, what happens then? It becomes a gun battle. And this is how insurgency then starts. This is coming from Joseph saying, good morning, Ife and Seun. I really appreciate what Sunday Igboho is doing because since Governor Makinde cannot defend his people in Oyo State as a chief security officer, I think Sunday Igboho should legally handle security issues in his own way in the state in order to defend his people. This is coming from Kilewensky saying, Seun, Sunday Igboho is just another product of Nigerian bad governance over time. Are you saying the people should keep quiet and wait for government while farmers get maimed and killed? Or you didn't know what has been happening before Sunday Igboho retaliated in the best way that he could? This is coming from a listener saying, fascism, governance has failed. Nepotism has never been so obvious. Insecurity has never been so deep. Bandits everywhere. Farmers are being killed in their farms. This is from Innocent saying, good morning, Ife and Seun. Can we now therefore say that the problem of this country started from the founding fathers? Because it seems that this country was not meant to be one indivisible entirety. Tribal sentiments is the order of the day. That's from Innocent. All right. This is coming from Kennedy on Twitter saying, good morning, Ife and Seun. Personally, I'm fed up with the nonchalant attitude of our government towards the well-being of our country. My concern now is, do you know of any step that has been taken towards 2023 that we can vote them out? This is coming from Mu saying, Seun, you have not listened to Sunday Igboho's narrative enough to hold the view that he's asking Fulanese and all Northerners to leave Oyo State. Remember, it took the killing of Fasharanti to prompt our elites in the southwest to wake up to the imminent dangers of herdsmen. And he then further said, you guys are mixing things up, and I'm shocked that Seun's logical narrative is veering off from the thrust of Sunday Igboho's standpoint. And then Sam is saying, you're doing a good job, and I don't know how people expect someone who has dual citizenship to be 100% loyal as a government official. One of the foundation of Nigeria's problem is the 1999 constitution. And Ernest is saying, I think for Nigeria to work, we all need to be holding our representatives of our states responsible, because it's not the Fulani that is killing the people of Edo State who want to fight for the Nigeria people. Should start with fighting hunger, fighting for a good healthcare system, and for other things as well. It's 11:54. Let's take a few more calls before we wrap this up. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking? Please turn off your radio. Good. Lagos Talks. What's your name? Quickly, let's hear your take.
My name is Francis. I'm speaking from Lagos.
All right, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to express my gratitude for this program.
Okay.
Simply put, DDK has said it all. He has made it very clear that the problem of Nigeria is simple and easy to solve. But this guy has a different agenda. Okay, now, the cattle herders, yes, let's take it, they carry arms and every other thing. The best solution, like Rollins said, is to put a system that will make it impossible for evildoers to try. Who are the employers of these herders? They are our politicians. The same ones that fund all the tankers, all the trucks that block Ocean Expressway.
Same people, my brother.
So, the same people. So, they own everything, they make the law, which does not affect them, and the other man wants to go and die. So, I agree with you.
My brother, thank you.
All right, Lagos Talks.
Follow the money, Nigerians. Follow the money.
Good morning. Who's speaking?
Hello, good morning. This is Cindy calling from Italy.
All right, Cindy, welcome. Let's hear your take quickly.
Good morning, sir. So, you mentioned Insecurity. You know, that word fascism, if you even mention here, people who actually organize, to arrest you this way because they know what they've gone through.
I said so, Nigerians don't know, my brother. They don't know.
The example I would give is like, think about the Nigerian national. You know we have popstars, but then you analyze the Nigerians because existing people, they wouldn't want to be called criminals, even if they're not involved in criminal activity, but they are Nigerians who are involved in this activity. And so my final point would be that I think, like you said, it's the governor, the elected leaders, they're the ones that have the mandate to protect people, and they're the real ones to be held accountable. Now, I think also that some of these leaders are not speaking up because they don't really want to vex some other people because of some cause they have in their mind. And my question will remain that in this country, why do we always look forward to an election year? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. This is coming from Adebayo saying, good morning, Ify and Seun. Why is it that the same government who of recent mopped up legal gums from people's hands and refused to do the same for the rampaging killer headsmen? It means, therefore, that the government in power is hiding something from us.
You see, it has become a term already, killer headsmen. It has gone together. I mean, you see, anyway, let me just...
coming from Sly saying, kudos to Seun for his in-depth knowledge and sincerity of purpose. I agree 100% with everything he has said today, and I stand with you. Comrade Momo is saying, the present set of herdsmen has so many criminals in their ranks, is what he is saying. And he also said, who is the grand patron of Mieti Allah as well. Mo is saying a certain northerner can carry dagger or knife around in Lagos City and people will say it is their culture or their tradition of carrying knives. It is so true that Saduna made those scandalous state in a BBC interview between the late 56 or 60s or thereabouts. Ernest is saying, I think for Nigeria to work, we all need to hold our representatives of our states accountable. You have said this before, but thank you very much for reiterating that. Quickly, Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking? Lagos Talks, good morning. Please turn off your radio.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Seun.
All right.
This is Ademi.
Ademi. All right, let's hear you very quickly.
What Seun said, the conclusion, I think what he said is that there's a failure, which is true. The emergence of people like, Igboho comes from the fact that there is a failure of security. How many street gates do you see in London? How many street gates do you find in America? But you find street gates here because there's a failure of security. When there's insecurity, people will resort to self-help. And that is what is going on. Wednesday was when they had the executive council meeting. There was no single, statement about what is going on. Everybody kept quiet. But this is something that could burn our country. And nobody says it. Nobody says anything, and there was no communicate indicating what is happening. I don't agree with what this man is doing, Sunday is doing, but the security system must be beefed up to make sure that the people are protected, and those who are doing any wrong must be prosecuted, to be killed, and not allow individual people to be to rise up to the occasion, and that is what you are seeing now. So let's kill that phenomenon.
Okay, it is 11:59. We have to wrap this up. Seun, thank you so much, as always, for giving us in-depth insight into these different topical issues. And thank you to everyone out there who was a part of the show today. Before saying goodbye, Seun, would you like to drop your details for those who would like to follow?
Yeah, Instagram, Big Bird Kuti, Twitter, Real Seun Kuti, Facebook, Seun Nicola Kuti.
Alrighty, you can reach out to me on Instagram and on Twitter at Ifi_I, that is IFI_I. Don't forget to follow Lagos Talks across all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Lagos Talks 913. And you should also check out our past People's Perspective videos on our YouTube channel. We have all those videos. If you missed last week's episode 2 weeks ago and the weeks prior, you can find all those videos on our YouTube channel. And today's video is going to be up hopefully before the end of today or by tomorrow morning.
Is Third Mainland Bridge open today? Somebody DM me and let me know. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do.
And you should also
anymore.
check your Google Maps before you move as well.
Google Maps is confused too.
It needs to trap you.
It trapped me.
Alright guys, coming up next is the World News, coming to you live from our media studios at 12:30. I'm going to be having a guest in the studio. We're going to be talking about necessities before starting off your whilst you continue with your 2021, and we're just going to be talking